Before we go into anything in this video, I need to be super clear. I am a Jegulus fan. I love Jegulus. If there are 100 Jegulus fans, I'm one of them. If there are 10, I'm one of them. If there are 0, I'm dead. Jegulus is the love of my life. Hey, hello. My sister told me that my intros need to be longer, so this is me attempting to have a longer intro. Welcome to this video. This video, I really want to talk about Jegulus. So this video is about Jegulus, because I love Jegulus. Jegulus, mwah, I love. It's great, it's amazing. Is that a good intro? Is that like a long enough intro? I don't know. You have to ask Molly. Ask her. Because apparently she's the judge of all intro lengths, and if they're good or bad. So, yeah, I don't know what else to do for an introduction, so I'll just continue with the video. First of all, for those who don't know, which if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you know, but if you don't, Jegulus is the relationship between James Potter and Regulus Black. The non-platonic relationship, the romantic relationship between James Potter and Regulus Black. And when looking at Jegulus and why it works, it's important to look at the characters first, individually, see what makes them them. I'm going off of fanon for this, so you may be like, J.K. Rowling didn't say that. First of all, fuck J.K. Rowling. Second of all, I'm going off of popular fanon, so that's where this information is coming from. It's just basically things that the rest of the fandom agrees with about these characters. So we're gonna talk about what about James and Regulus makes them work so well as a couple. Before we do that, I want to say that I do compare Jegulus to Jilly once or twice in this video, and it's nothing against Jilly, and I love Lily Evans. I just compare the two relationships a few times, and it's nothing against Jilly or Lily Evans. I love Lily. So when talking about Jegulus, we have to look at the individual characters first. We have Regulus, who in my Marauders 101 video I described as sarcastic, insecure, mean, sad boy poetry vibes. He loves people inwardly, but not outwardly. Go watch that video, by the way. I go over like all the Marauders characters and it's really a slay. Go watch that video, by the way. I go over all the Marauders characters and it's super cool and interesting and stuff. And then we have James, who I described as undyingly loyal, chivalrous, the Gryffindoriest Gryffindor you'll ever meet. He cares so much about people. He cares so much about people. About anyone he cares for, he cares about them with his whole heart. He wants to help everyone. In the books, in the Harry Potter books, the canon, he was a bit of a bully, but I reject that. And I will go into why later. Yeah, James is just literally sweet and caring and optimism and sunshine. Like, he's a sunshine human being. He's sunshine. So, they're very two different characters there. Oh, fuck. That looks so bad. That looks so bad. I look like I'm dying. Oh, fuck. I did not want to have to turn the big light on. I wonder if it's better if I put this over here. Maybe not. What if we put it back here? How about that? How about that? Guys, I feel like my face is the same color as the wall. Like, should we do a little comparison? Pretty similar. It's bothering me. We have two very different characters here. We have James, who is, he's James. He's just James. There's not really any other way to describe him. He's friendly, he's like the nicest person you'll ever meet, but at the same time he shows everyone that he's happy all the time and he's always there being the optimist. So when he has bad days, he has a hard time letting himself experience them and have bad days basically because he feels like he always has to be happy. Also, I'm a strong believer in the James has ADHD headcanon. Love. James also evolves as a character a lot from his early days at Hogwarts to the later years. In his early years at Hogwarts, he's kind of mean, he's kind of a bully, and I know a lot of Marauders fans reject that, and I do as well to some extent, but because in Jegulus fanfictions and different works like that, he's still shown as having had a crush on Lily in those early years, I think we can still classify him as somewhat of a bully because of that history with Lily not leaving her alone when she says no, etc. But the bottom line for James is that he loves everyone with his whole entire heart. He loves so much. The love is overflowing from him. And not to make excuses for James's behavior with Lily as a child, but I think that that's partially why he pursued her so much, because he just had all of these emotions and he didn't know what to do with it, and he wanted to give his love to someone, and that was how he thought it was best to do it. I don't think that he meant to be annoying and rude. I think that he just didn't know what to do with his emotions. To be honest, I relate to James a lot, and I have a lot to say about him. Maybe he'll get his own separate video in the future. I'm already planning a video for Lily Evans and for Mary, so yes, if I had to choose one way to describe James, it would be that he has a big heart. Moving on to Regulus. Regulus literally has my heart and soul. He grew up in an abusive household and learned to suppress his emotions so he wouldn't get into trouble. He does everything perfectly, in his parents' eyes at least, to stay out of trouble and to avoid attention. He's perpetually grumpy towards James and Sirius and their friends, but not towards his own friends. He tends to choose a few people to open up to, and then to everyone else, he's just like a hedgehog. He just curls up in a spiky ball and hisses whenever anyone tries to like come near him. And I have no doubt that it took him a very long time to open up to his friends. It's not like he walked in on his first day of class and was like, you guys, you are the ones who I will open up to. No, I don't think that's how it went for him. It would have taken him a long time. In the Marauders fandom, there's two schools of thought for Regulus and his opinions towards the wizard blood supremacy stuff that's rampant in the Black family and the Slytherin community. One is that he never agreed with his parents about any of it, but he saw what happened to Sirius and decided that it would be for the best to pretend that he did. And the other is that he did believe in the blood supremacy stuff at first, but grew out of it eventually. Whether he grew out of it because he realized he himself was queer and he was one of the people who his parents would have hated, or because he met people his parents wouldn't have liked at Hogwarts and realized that they weren't so bad. So Regulus just kind of hides away, and, at least in James's opinion, is perpetually in a bad mood. It's a good thing that James likes that, though. I don't want to say that's where the initial attraction was for James. The bad mood thing was probably one of the things that drew him in, because Regulus was, in James's mind and view, perpetually in a bad mood, and James felt like he could never be in a bad mood ever. I think that's definitely an initial element of attraction for James. Regulus is usually shown to have had a crush on James for a few years. It's normally purely physical attraction to James. He actually dislikes James for taking Sirius away from him, which adds another layer to this extremely tall Jegulus cake that we've built here so far. The jealousy on Reggie's side and the complicated relationship between Sirius, James, and Regulus. The relationship between James and Regulus is already, from what I've just described, much more detailed than the relationship between James and Lily ever was. The dynamic of Jegulus is already 10 times more complicated and in depth. There's more that needs to be worked through. There's more conflict, there's more everything. To add another layer, perhaps one that's not quite so deep, Regulus insults James a lot, and James seems to be kind of into that. With the element of Sirius being James's best friend, and Sirius being Regulus's brother, and Regulus normally in Marauders fics is not on speaking terms with Sirius. Regulus thinks that Sirius left him alone with his parents. That's the case in most Jegulus fics. There are ones where Sirius takes Regulus with him when he runs away, but in most that I've seen, Sirius leaves Regulus, and Regulus holds that against Sirius, and Regulus thinks that James took Sirius away from him. We see once Sirius is sorted into Gryffindor in his first year, he's more and more distant from Regulus. And Regulus hears about this kid, James, who seems to be Regulus's replacement at Hogwarts. And Regulus is immediately jealous, and Regulus feels replaced. That element, plus then Regulus's unwilling attraction to James, and James being drawn to Regulus because of Regulus's ability to be in a bad mood and show that he's in a bad mood, and Regulus falling for James as James approaches him again and again, just as friends. Normally we have James not realizing his feelings for Regulus until the climax of their relationship, until he's actually hold up, wait, maybe this is love. Maybe I'm in love with this guy. But James just says that he's drawn to Regulus, and everyone's like, okay, bro. Okay, you do you, bro. And Remus definitely knows all the time. In almost every single fic, I know Remus knows that James is in love with Regulus. But all these layers of like, this Jegulus cake is just, I don't know. Literally that. It's just this. It just works. There's so much that they have to work through. There's conflicts, but besides all of that, there's the fact that they want to make it work. They are like desperately in love with each other and want to make it work because Regulus realizes that James is not an awful person. James realizes that he actually has a massive crush on Regulus, and their relationship can evolve way more than the relationship between James and Lily, because with James and Lily, it was just James matured, stopped asking her out so much, but was still into her, and then Lily eventually was like, okay, I'll go out with you, and then happily ever after. Well, not happily ever after because they die, but you know what I mean. It's a more complex story on Jegulus' side. For James, being with Regulus lets him relax. He doesn't have to be perpetually happy with Regulus, because Regulus knows that no one is happy all the time and even finds it a little bit strange that James pretends that he is. He gives James the space and acceptance to have hard days. And for James, that's so important because no one ever told him or allowed him to be like that before. He never felt able to show that he was unhappy. No one ever told him it could be like this. But Regulus shows James that it's okay to have down days. On the flip side, James loves Regulus so much. James gives Regulus such an abundance of love every day. He shows Regulus love in a way no one else before has. Besides maybe Sirius before Sirius went to Hogwarts and got sorted into Gryffindor. But James loves Regulus unconditionally and absolutely just the way he is. And that's freeing for Regulus. He's always had to conform to one thing or another to get the love and acceptance of people. But James gives Regulus the love regardless of what he does, thinks, says, or anything. They give each other comfort and safe spaces in ways that no one else has before. I've never found relationships where they go, oh, I could never love anyone as much as I love you after like 1 month of dating. I see that a lot in fanfictions where they'll date for like a month and they'll be like, you're the only one I could ever love. And normally I find that very unrealistic, but I can see that with Jegulus. And of course they build on the foundation that I've just laid out for you guys. They build the relationship into something beautiful and compassionate. They bond over their shared love for Quidditch, and James showers Regulus with affection every day. And Regulus is there for James. This is kind of cheesy, but he's like a breath of fresh air for James. Truly, because he gives James the space to have hard times and have difficult days. They have a complex relationship, which draws people in. The layers of Jegulus is what makes it work. There's so many things, so many reasons they make a compelling couple, and so many reasons why they maybe wouldn't ever be a couple in the first place. But that's what makes Jegulus work. That's what makes Jegulus such a good couple. That's what makes Jegulus so magical. That's why it turned from a joke in 2021, Jegulus Week, into what it is now, which is a legitimate, like, very popular ship that's in, like, the top 100 ships of 2023. It's in, like, the top 20 ships of 2023. That's crazy. That's insane. And it was a joke. It was a joke up until a few years ago. Like, but we see this relationship. There's so many layers, and it's so complex. And the motivation is there, the reasons for why they would love each other is there. It's compelling. It's compelling in a way more than Jilly is compelling. It's compelling. It's a compelling story. What Regulus and James have is beautiful and wonderful, and the story that they make is compelling, and that's why it works. That is why Jegulus works. So yes. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it. I'm sorry about the weird lighting change in the middle there. My computer is like being really mean to me today. It's not letting me record very easily. But thank you so much for watching. Take your meds, drink water, have 3 meals, and take a nap, and have a wonderful rest of your day or night or morning or whatever. Because I love you, and good night.